Makes sense. Ending on Cafe, this is an interesting one. M80 is expanding their pool. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, they are the only team currently that
have persevered despite being fed some pretty awful circumstances. Do you think they have what it takes to overcome M80?
The biggest enemy of M80, because under their old organization, they actually have a 4.
It's going fishing right now as Kixro is looking for the opening pick against M80, and he'll find a player prone as Kino has to get out of that position. Amazingly, M80 somehow all survive. Kino taking a whole host of damage. First casualty, though, is Kino inside of that back bar as Gavin finds kill number 2, and Fens, who was shown on the pre-show, did some talking, did some interviews. Now he's got to make his voice loud and heard. Quickly eclipse the 100 round mark. I imagine we're going to see 10 rounds between these teams. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess if M80 plays the way they play.
Cams, which still seem to be quite strong. A lot of them surviving into the final 75 seconds once again. The kills continue to rain in.
We trade one apiece. Gavin, who had a double kill that ended up being, I believe, a triple kill in the previous round, got on the board this time. He's silenced. Diffuser will drop now too. And that diffuser that was shown off by the observers has been picked back up by Eddie. That's epic to find yet another. My goodness, M80 just giving him tons of free picks. Down goes Fens. It's Epic and Eddie as the last two alive in a collision course with Gunner and Houghton. Houghton trading out some of his HP to find his second kill in a row. And Eddie, with a very excited look on his face, will try to steer his team away from the rocky shores of M80. Doesn't have a ton of information, so he'll just go for the plant, isolating that rotate through fireplace. Houghton and Gunner will approach Eddie, peeling off of the defuse kit, as he heard their elephant-like stomps as they approach the bomb site. He's very worried about somebody over towards red, but bullets had whizzed by him in the other direction. Gunner and Hot and Cold are giving him nothing at the moment. They will just sit patiently as time looks to run out, and there's no way for Eddie to get the objective.
No shame in that when you've already secured your spot if you've got nothing to play for, but that's all really contingent on how this game goes. Orgless still have everything in their hands, and Epic asleep at the wheel. Gunner finds another pick outside and does get traded back with Gavin and Diffuser both going down. So the train of kills is all going the way of Orgless. Another Nitro from Hot and Cold answers back on a Fens, and it's now a 2v3 with just the support duo of M80 left to hold things back, but they don't know there's a clash here. Oh no!
That was beautifully played by M80 though. Not expecting that.
A pick, trying to find a vert angle, but Hot and Cold's giving nothing to them. So Kixro will have to go to get aggressive while Bino starts to get on the plant.
Kixro eliminates Houghton, and Kino's the only one left. Houghton's first death. A couple first deaths across the board. Gunner as well dying for the first time, and now it's a watch from Kixro as Bino gets very close to getting that diffuser down. Shield will go out, and he's got a read on it and some soft walls through which he can do some serious damage. Trying his best against these two players, but this is an awful lot for him to deal with.
Mentioned how they had to make sure they found Hot and Cold before they started for the plant. Otherwise, it was going to be really awkward trying to plant with a clash on the board. So they took their time. They had to talk about what they might want to do. Not really getting much space at all, even into Cigar. Kixro the only one in the building, and Hot and Cold out of the building.
No longer are magnets the only thing that catch certain projectiles. Now the ADS catches it just the same. And with it, we've actually seen Wamai's pick rate fall off quite a lot. M80 now, as they had suffered through at the beginning, find no problem tearing through the remaining players on this LFO Orgless team. Fens and Bino are the last two remaining with a Clash and an Echo still on the board. Neither of these remaining players on Orgless hold the case. Fens is just trying to buy time. He's now picked it up. We'll need to go for what I imagine will be a suicide drop, as there he goes. He's in through the hatch, but he's all by his lonesome. Gavin dispatching Fens.
It's a body shot, but can't do more than that with the DMR. It's a game of cat and mouse. They can't quite find each other. It's Gunner, actually, who goes down on the white stairs thanks to a good angle from Eddie.
So swift, and it seems like every round is decided by these first bit of actions or first little bits of action that we see. Both teams very swiftly reducing numbers. My goodness, Kino getting a bit of a jump scare there. Who says Siege isn't a horror game? 2 kills for Gavin. All waiting for the Hot and Cold special. That said, Orgless does tend to play quite well and very effectively together, so I don't imagine they're going to give individual fights to Hotton. They're going to have to work together to narrow him down, and there we go.
Where you can't get blown up by a Nitro. There are some, but they're very tough to get to.
The trepidation now on the side of Orgless just to get into the building. You got to go through a window at some point. Kino with the very first kill of his stage, or of this match in this stage. Fens picks him off immediately. So only one for the support player on the side of M80. Gunner takes down Fens. Again, Fens has been such a powerful part of these pushes for Orgless, but is his job done? Gavin attempting to get close to the bomb site. Now Bino is carte blanche to walk right in while Epic should be able to cover him. Eddie is the one factor that we have to account for. Time is running out, and now Epic will grab the diffuser. Eddie covering. Gunner and diffuser, last two alive. Eddie to the right. Diffuser desperate to stop it, but he won't get it done. Gunner attempting to retake, but Eddie shuts him.
And it was perfectly done by Eddie, the way he was able to watch out for his plant coverage. They did lose Bino. Bino got that he needed to. I wish we got that fully from his POV. He might post it on Twitter or something later, because that had to be...
Epic's been down and will need to be retrieved by somebody on the side of Orgless. They've scraped their way to an even standing, which is still not ideal for Orgless, just based on the way this map plays. And M80 will take no prisoners on their very first advance. Fens, who's been sensational so far in high-impact situations and with gadgetry, will only get a single kill before being traded out. Top frag on the side of Orgless is Eddie.
For M80 by any means, but full information. Hot and Cold just found both players, and with that, you've got to imagine they'll be able to put together a good execute.
Think so. Gavin with the slow peek over to Eddie, and Bino gets punished by... Bino gets punished by... You mentioned that because I'm old enough to remember when Jackal released, people called him a discount Buck because he had the secondary shotgun that if Buck wasn't available, you could use in a pinch. And I remember, I think it was Kix who said it, and he got laughed at for it. And oh boy, did he end up being right. Fighting will break out on both sides of this bout, with the numbers staying even. That was Epic and Fens getting on the board. Diffuser going down in the hands of Gunner as Gavin and Hot and Cold will watch through that amidst the Capitao smoke. Look at that. Great way for Gunner to conceal himself. Gunner with only 3 deaths through 8 rounds at this point. A very impressive number. Epic and Fens now trying to take from above. A great shot by Fens, continuing his hard work, finding kill number 7. They'll reposition over towards red stairs. Epic as well with one. And suddenly it's Hot and Cold in a 1v1. Sidearm out. Fens goes down. Epic will now be on the hunt, but he has to watch that clock. He'll hop on the defuse kit. He's not faking it. Hotton will drop, and Epic has now baited him into an engagement where Hotton will sit and wait. Epic will carry through. Hot and Cold almost bottle.
It keeps the player inside of Bake a little bit more protected. They use the Rara though, and they just jump Kino inside the smoke, hunting for the player behind Bake. Ben's not even aware of what's going on. Kino walks all the way deep and finds his pick onto the bakery player. Still able to use these smokes. Excellent use of the Rara from Diffuser to let him get in, but he loses it to a headshot from Bino. Now things are starting to get spicy.
The old Kino Bino adversary that we see happen from time to time. Kino showing off why he gets put on shields from time to time. Gavin and Diffuser now with their backs against the wall in a really tough spot. And they've got a read on Kixro's position inside a coat check, but they cannot allow themselves to get mobbed by the rest of these players. Bino gets very, very aggressive as an Echo, taking the fight right to Bakery. And now it's Diffuser all alone. Orgless poised for a round of revenge. Diffuser having a very poor game in that round. It will only get worse. Bino technically credited with the final kill.
I gotta mention it when it happens to Hot and Cold as well. It was a spawn peek from top floor. Eddie playing Tuberal DMR got the pick on the pilot and shoot those cameras.
Got eyes on it.
It's a battle to the death now. Fens is being hunted down, and there goes the tracker. Hot and Cold desperately trying to do something. 2 kills from M80. Eddie, the only one on the board to rebuff them at this current point in time, but he's punished for it. And again, we find ourselves in a 3v3. Action has been so swift between these teams, Jesse. People are dying left and right. It's Kixro's time now, as Epic could be next on deck, as he's chased off of his position, but caught by Gavin. And now Bino will attempt something over towards Cigar, finding what little remained of Diffuser. Hunted down by Hot and Cold, but he'll have information on that. Gavin knew his whereabouts over.
Guy Bino is downstairs too. There's 3 players on Orgless on the bottom floor, Parker.
I mean, they're going to rely an awful lot on Eddie to make this call, as you said, and that singular Nitrocell, the one that you referenced, will have to do some serious work here. The thing for M80 is that they've got these nuisance gadgets, right? And there goes one of them. Gunner will use his logic bomb. They'll find Epic's position based on him killing one of those players. Kickthrow slaughtering Gavin. Diffuser going down, hot and cold, seemingly finding this opening. Kickthrow with yet another, and the advantage very firmly in favor of Orgless. Kino with 3 kills will need to double that number unless he gets hot and cold back. No, it's all up to Kino now in a 1v2 with Diffuser running away. He is the intel. He's got the bomb site and he's got the angle. Kino, stop moving. Stop moving. Let them come to you, Kino. Bullets will whiz by as he gets pushed behind as he tears some strips through Eddie and Epic, but there's just too many bodies and not enough bullets. Plenty of time for Orgless to sit on them to pick up 2 points. They just need to win this round and then persevere in OT. But to get there, 5 kills for Orgless need to be found. They've started off by taking care of Kino, but Fens is now down for the count. Another nade will sail in. This might find Fens in his position. Yes, he's unable to crawl away from that blast. So the advantage that was there for Orgless is very limited.
Eddie's above somehow. He might be finding Gunner on the vert angle. At the same time, though, it's not going to help Bino, who's working his way out of this situation. Got the defuse kit down, but traded by Gaveni. Brings it to a 3v3. Again, 2 players, 1 from each side up above, and then 4 here on the bomb site. There'll be 2 very isolated fights. Looks like Gunner is aware that Eddie's up top, but Gunner's got multiple objectives. Looks the wrong way, and Eddie finds the pick. Now it's not only man advantage, but also positioning.
And Diffuser getting shot to death by Eddie from above, and Epic will join in. Both of these have put onto the board have come against teams that are below them. By going to OT against M80, they will guarantee themselves 1 point against a playoff team, which is a nice thing to think about. Hot and cold will jump out, and down goes Fens. Kickthrow dies as well, and boy, oh boy. Defenders are having a pretty good show of it at this current point in time, aren't they? Kino slaughtering Epic, and while Bino's able to get Diffuser down, it's just him and Eddie against all 5 players on the side of M80, none of which have taken a single point of damage. Eddie on Repel will be good enough for 1, and he has to reposition because of how vulnerable he'll be in this spot. Bino sitting on red stairs as down goes Eddie. The flank will come in. Bino with 1, but he cannot overextend. 2 players from M80 will watch as Kino takes down Bino. And M80 will...
Second time around, that gets him a successful drop into Freezer, but the plant is still not going to be easy. 1 more Nitro being held by Epic, and he's just inside of Whiskey.
You hear the cacophony of explosions as Hot and Cold looks for an opening. Down goes Eddie, and I fear for Orgless. It's a rough spot to be in. They've got the Yokai drone still up. Bino needs to live to see the tail, but every single player on the side of Orgless is being fed to this meat grinder. The jig will be up in just a second, and you can see Bino disappointed as that Yokai is shot away at. They know exactly where the diffuser went down, and 4 players from M80 will all hunt for this final pick. Orgless desperately needed a win to stay in the playoff race. They're still in it, but they'll have to suffer through
this one just a little bit. Congrats on the win. Some kind words from your coach there as you wrap that one up. It was clear.
Kind words from him too.
Yeah, kind words from him too. Gunner, clearly you guys were having a little fun with it towards the end, but you closed it out in overtime. As you move into the playoffs, was that the kind of game you wanted to kick it off?
I mean, I wanted to win, so that's good. But we kind of misread something on 6-5, and then we had to kind of just wing it.
Oh, is that what you're talking about, the Maverick?
Yeah, like we know that they do that setup, but usually they reinforce the wall off. But this time they just didn't feel like doing it, and we're like, oh fuck. So we just kind of winged it, and it didn't go well, so we went to OT, but we locked in.
I mean, congratulations on your guys' win. Obviously, tomorrow doesn't necessarily mean the most for you guys, but that being said, going into playoffs, what's the aspect that you guys are most excited for in best of threes?
I mean, obviously our biggest struggle in the best of ones and everything is our defenses, and I feel like we have all the pieces with how good our attacks are, how good our map pool is. So obviously we can show off more of the map pool in the BO3s. Cruelty doesn't have a life game and dog us, and that's it. We actually have a chance to bounce back a little bit.
Well, sorry, go on.
But
What
yeah,
were
I
you
mean,
saying?
I'm excited to go through.
Well, that leads to my next question. Obviously, you talk about flexing your map pool. You've now shown 6 maps, so there's obviously a few left for you guys to show. But I also want to talk about the life game from LFO. I kind of just want from your perspective, were you a little bit surprised at how well they played today, or just honestly the improvement that they've made throughout the stage leading up until this match?
I mean, LFO, we have scrimmed them maybe 2,000 times.
Okay.
They know us inside and out. We know them inside and out. So I knew it was going to be probably a closer game than people thought. They're talented. They have good shooters. Like, people forget that, about DarkZero and all of them, but like they all can shoot. And like, I don't know if it's nerves at the beginning of the stage for them, or if they switch calling or whatnot, but they definitely feel more polished to play against than they looked at the beginning. So it was a good game by them. I think we had a couple major fuck ups, or on the attacks today, and then on the last defense as well. But I mean, they're not as bad as people think they are. Like, they're really not. They're not on the level of like MD.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, that paints the picture, but I mean, so does the results from LFO so far. So I mean, there's no lies being said.
All right, Gunnar. Well, thank you so much for your time. As always, we'll keep it quick and we'll get you out of here, and we will see you tomorrow to do it all again.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Gunnar. Well, M80.